Possibly that's not quite correct, but this is Luciano Delorenzi, Costa Rica, for 287.5.
Very fast.
Wow.
Now let's just make sure it was deep enough.
300 on the bar. And of course, it's not just limb length. The way that your femur inserts into the hip joint is different, can be very different on different people. That will affect your deadlift and your squat stance.
And if you stick with lifting long enough, unfortunately, sometimes you do come away with injuries and you have to make adjustments from there. And what you might have used to have done may change. Solid squat, did stick pretty well, but he got through it. 3 white lights.
307.5 kilos. Handful of squats left in this group. We'll take a 10-minute break then, and we'll before we go into bench. Reminder that we have 2 flights of B group, and the A group will leave as part of the prime time tonight at 8 p.m. I think. Great to see that. Here's Luciano Delorenzi from Costa Rica with his opening bench of 187.5. But last night we didn't expect to see Gavin finishing 5th at all. He did not have the day he wanted.
No, he did not. I had the pleasure of talking to him this morning. We were both training at the same time. And like the athlete he is, he was focused on moving forward and talked about what he can do to try to hit depth, what he can do to improve his conditioning. I admire the man's mentality. He's not dwelling on the past. Force, if you will, Joe.
I'm going to take that tip because my failure point is right off the chest.
Yeah, it's something I have a few of my lifters do when they have that point. It does take some practice. It does shift kind of the feel of pressing off the chest and the bar path a bit. So it takes practice, but it is definitely worth experimenting with.
Luciano Delorenzi, Costa Rica, 197.5 on the bar.
A little high stick point, but he fights through it. Taking his time on a setup. And he fights through the stick, and it looks like he's good for it, so long as he didn't make any infractions and kept that. That's going to be the limiting factor, and you really have to look at the speed, the slowest speed, rather than the average speed. So I think they'll need to take a conservative next jump there, or they risk actually missing.
We have the same weight on the bar for Luciano Delorenzi, Costa Rica. And he makes short work of that.
Yeah, there was no stick point there. That was fast.
Quick benches failed for exactly that.
That's right.
However, it stops people making use of double bounces at the bottom of the squat and things like this. So I understand why the rule's there, but as you say, I always felt it a little bit harsh. Luciano Delorenzi, Costa Rica, 315.
That looks...
If he pulls this, it will be a perfect day.
Taking his time, getting into the right mental space. Here he goes. Oh.
There was that little knee nudge.
Now let's see if it... Oh, unfortunate. Yes. Yeah, I suspected.
As soon as your knee is underneath the bar.